Good evening and thank you for joining us, your national broadcaster once again. I am Hassan Engelbrecht, bringing you a summary of the stories making headlines this hour. Namibia has appealed for international financial and technical support to tackle the widespread challenges of non-communicable diseases. Non-communicable diseases are projected to kill over 50 million people, especially in the developing world, in the next few years. Now, President Hifikepunye Pohamba made the appeal when he addressed a high-level UN General Assembly meeting on the prevention and control of non-communicable diseases yesterday. The Namibian leader shared Namibia's experiences and highlighted some of the programs the country has put in place to ensure that non-communicable diseases are controlled. Among them is the passing of the Tobacco Products Control Act and limited times and days of the week during which alcohol may be sold. He also expressed the need to cut down on the advertisement of products that might contribute to an increase in the spread of non-communicable diseases. President Hifikepunye Pohamba also met the Director General of the Food Agricultural Organization, the FAO, Jacques Diouf, in New York yesterday to discuss FAO's assistance to Namibia. Diouf, whose terms of office comes to an end in December, made use of the opportunity bid President Pohamba farewell. Diouf has been at the helm of the Food and Agricultural Organization for the past 18 years. Now, the FAO has assisted Namibia to develop a national food security program, and Diouf is happy with progress made so far. President Pohamba also held private talks with U.S. businessman Morris Templesman, who has interests in the diamond polishing business in Namibia. Staying at the United Nations, despite the announcement yesterday that the African Union has recognized the Libyan National Transitional Council, many African states attending the meeting maintain that a decision is yet to be taken on the continental body's position on Libya. Now, the announcement was made by the chairman of the African Union, Theodore Nguema of Equatorial Guinea. Approached for comment, Foreign Affairs Minister Utoni Nuyoma, who attended a separate meeting, described the recognition as interim, saying Namibia, just like many other African countries, were not consulted. His views were shared by the Information Minister of Sierra Leone and the Zimbabwean Foreign Affairs Minister, who said a resolution needed to be passed before the AU recognized the NTC. Well, back home, the Education Minister, Dr. Abraham Iyambo, says he will do everything in his power to ensure that the more than 40 children in the Khomas region's Tobias Hanyeko constituency who do not attend school are enrolled in school as soon as possible. Dr. Iyambo met the children and their parents today to listen to their plight. Most of the children's parents came from the northern and northeastern regions of the country in search of a better life in the city, but the majority are still unemployed, hence their inability to pay school fees. Education Minister Dr. Abraham Iyambo was accompanied by officials of the Gender Equality and Child Welfare and Home Affairs and Immigration Ministries to assist with the registration of the children, some of whom are orphans. Now, in other local news, the Singalamwe community in the Caprivi region officially handed over land to the Agriculture Ministry yesterday for the Green Scheme program. The ministry's permanent secretary, Andrew Ndishishi, received the more than 3,000 hectares of land. The land handed over to government at Singalamwe is the biggest it ever received from the community, and it is most likely that it will be the largest agricultural project in the country. Dishishi said all the Green Scheme projects across the country were doing exceptionally well, producing food that the government also uses to supply to flood victims in the northern regions. The Singalamwe Green Scheme is expected to start as soon as the technicians have demarcated and surveyed the plots. The residents have welcomed the project in the hope that it would create jobs for them. And in international news, U.S. President Barack Obama has told the UN General Assembly that the Palestinians deserve their own state, but that this would only be achieved through talks with Israel. Obama's speech came as diplomatic efforts for Palestinian UN membership intensified, while thousands rallied in the West Bank. Obama said peace would not come through statements and resolutions at the UN, adding that there could be no shortcut to peace, and he is expected to urge the Palestinians to give up the initiative. Obama is to meet both Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas later today. Abbas is set to launch the statehood bid on Friday after his address to the UN General Assembly with a written request to the Secretary General. Now, the US has vowed to veto the request. Well, that was a summary of the stories that made headlines today. Thanks for watching. Good night.